Not for every college game do you need a police escort into the stadium and a police escort out of the stadium.
Favorite place, big school. Like, oh, that's a cool environment for a big school.
Georgia. It is beyond imaginable. The money they have, the way Kirby Smart runs their practices, he goes around with a microphone, or a megaphone, I guess you call it. And he is constantly shouting at players. He will call you out in front of everyone. Not for every college game do you need a police escort into the stadium and a police escort out of the stadium. And that is one of the places where we have police cars getting us in and out because Athens is so wild. In a good way. I love it. I would never, hate on it.
Favorite place, smaller school. Like, oh, that's a sleeper.
Boise State. I don't know if you can call it a smaller school.
Yeah, that's the only thing I had. It's like, oh, is that still small or is that?
The blue field is really cool. Like I thought it was going to be weird.
Is
And
it?
they have to put in I don't know if it's if they put in owl noises or something. I think they have to put in some weird noises because birds will try to dive onto the field thinking that it's water.
Has NIL changed things? Do you feel like
Oh my
NIL has
God.
changed the industry?
Yes, yes, it sucks. No, I mean, I'm happy for the players. It stinks for a sideline reporter because every team's different, you know? You go into a team and, even now, I mean, some of the top schools in the country, you're like, okay, who's that quarterback again? Who's that? It's more rare to have a returning quarterback than it is somebody who's transferred in, and so it makes it harder for us to know these teams. It makes it harder for the coaches to put together solid teams. It really takes them a good chunk of the season. In order to kind of know what your team's going to look like and how you can compete and different things like that. If you're having an offensive line and everybody's new, and then your quarterback's new and your running backs are new and everything like that, then it's really hard to understand that gel. I think it's kind of taken away some of the the line baseball is romantic and stuff like that. How can you not be romantic about baseball? And I think for a while there was how can you not be romantic about college football? Once the season it's still kind of there, but I think some of the romance has been taken away from it.
Kind of switching a little bit of gears in the sense, like how competitive of an industry is this to get into?
It is competitive. It's small. You can get into it, but as far as kind of climbing in it, there aren't a lot of jobs available. Like if you think about female sideline reporters, we have CBS, which I work for, Fox, ESPN/ABC, NFL Network, and now Amazon. And that's it. I will say once you are in it, it is very supportive. The females especially it's a tight-knit group. We very much watch out for one another. We call each other, when the games are going on and check in with one another, whether it's, helping each other with a story or just what you're wearing that day or, hey, I just want to wish you good luck. There's not backstabbing or anything like that. I will say the females within the sports broadcast industry, excuse me, we are very close knit and we're very tight. So it's not competitive in that way. It's just more of trying to get your foot in the door and then continue to climb up.
How much do you really kind of have to know about the sport?
Everything.
Everything. Like you've got, I don't know anything about football. Like if somebody said what the four
Yeah.
three def, I know there's a 4-3 and a 3-4, and I couldn't tell you what the difference is before.
I will say so where you would say it's competitive, it is very hard to grow if you do not know your stuff because you will be caught very quickly. It will, for instance, if we're doing a segment um, with someone, or I'll just say for sideline purposes, we have to do a live interview with a coach at the end of the first quarter and at the end of the third quarter. And that's live and it is one or two questions and you need to know what to ask him. Nobody's telling you what to ask. So you need to be able to be following the game to know a good question to ask that coach at the end of it. So, and it needs to be a little bit more in depth. It's not just, oh, what do you want to change in the second half? So in those instances, you really do have to follow and you have to be able to interpret what they're saying. And a lot of times, it's the same for halftime report. You talk to both coaches. If you're not doing an on-camera interview, the sideline job is you interview both coaches off camera. One's going into the tunnel, the other one's coming out of the tunnel, and you have about 30 seconds to formulate, um, kind of your plan in your head to do a live report in about 30 seconds. So in that instance, like if you don't know football and you don't understand what they're saying, then you're going to get caught. And people at home are going to know, and they're going to let you know, and they're going to let your bosses know too. So you definitely have to study.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, I'm kind of basing this off the mindset of 10 years ago, right?
Hmm.
And that was like, oh, there's women on the sideline of the football game. Like, is that still a thing? Or is that like, no, that's over with now?
No, if anything, I get kind of bothered that it's gone the other way, where like you almost exclusively only see women on the sideline. So I don't want it to be just women. I want it to be, I love seeing women on the sideline, but I would much rather across all spectrums of sports broadcasting kind of see it be a mix. Sometimes like if there are a lot of studio shows, and I get this in that all of the analysts are men because they're former players. A lot of times they will have a female host. um Maybe it's getting former, having more female analysts or something like that. So I love the sideline role belonging to women, and them being good at it, but we never want to be hired based on you're a female that can fill this role. All of us want to be hired based on our merits as opposed to just kind of filling that role as a female who can do a job, if that makes sense.
Last question. What's your favorite thing about it?
The stories. These guys have worked so hard to be there. Like people are like, "Oh, what's your favorite sport to cover? What's your favorite team?" And when I go into games, I have fallen so in love with these players and these teams that like I genuinely have no rooting interest, because it doesn't matter what everybody has done something to overcome whatever obstacle in their life to get to this level. There's been sacrifice, you know, there's been tremendous hard work. Like they care so much. Like you want to tell every single player's story. So being able to tell some of them is just truly remarkable, because they're all amazing kids. And I mean even the coaches too, but really the players, just and for some of them, that's the highest level they're ever going to get to. You always, when you talk to a player after a game, or when you're talking to them in the meeting, or you're calling their game, you want to pretend like that is the biggest moment of their life when it comes to football, because you never know if it's going to be. Um, and they want to remember that day and that moment for what it is.